Alright guys, plan for the day today. First thing you're going to need to do is turn in your light bulb lab. Before you do so, just double check, make sure everything's done. Your data's in the right spot, you have all of your calculations done, your graphs are done, the graphs are in color, you've got your key, everything. Just double check. Once you're done with that, you're going to turn that into the substitute teacher. Right when you turn it into your substitute teacher, you're going to need to get out the Minnesota Energy Challenge, or you're going to need to get that from them. The Minnesota Energy Challenge handout. Now, to do the very first page, you're going to have to keep listening to this video to fill that out. Alright? I'll run you through how to do this in just a second. You'll need to go to the actual Minnesota Energy Challenge website to do the back, where you're going to have to find some actions. And then once you're done with all of that, you should be able to do that in this class period. You're going to turn that into the sub. Alright, if you don't turn it into the sub, it's going to be homework, and you're going to have two things for homework. When you're finished with the Minnesota Energy Challenge, you're going to need to work on the special assignment. Again, you're going to need to get that handout from the substitute teacher. And then whatever time you have left is yours to work on that. And that homework assignment, the special assignment, is due this Friday. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run you through the Minnesota Energy Challenge first. Alright, so your page is going to look like this. So, first thing we need to think about is something called a carbon footprint. Okay, carbon footprint is any type of daily activity that you do that has some sort of impact on the environment. But in this case, we're really focusing on anything that releases greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, specifically carbon dioxide. So that's kind of burning fossil fuels. Carbon footprints can be determined for you as a person, your whole house, companies, and even a school. And it's measured in pounds of CO2 emitted into the atmosphere every single year. So what I want you to do is I want you to list 10 different daily activities that you do that would be used to calculate your carbon footprint. Okay, so think about the entire day. Alright, and I want you to list them in the space down here. So pause the video, do that right now. Well, hopefully you thought about things that use electricity. So one of the biggest things, and if you don't have this, write it down, is your parents in your house monthly electric bill. So things that charge your phone, all the appliances in your house, TVs, lights, all that stuff goes into calculating your carbon footprint. Another thing that you need to add, if you don't have it, is the heating bill. The heating cost for your homes comes from you using either electrical energy, or some houses use natural gas to heat their homes. Both those things will add to your carbon footprint. Another really important thing to add to your carbon footprint, if you don't have it written down, is the cars that you have. How many miles you drive per year, the type of car you have, the miles per gallon for all of those cars, all of that adds to your carbon footprint. The size of your home also adds to your carbon footprint. Bigger houses require you to use energy to heat and cool those houses compared to smaller houses. Other things to kind of think about is things that maybe you don't do yourself, but because you buy these things or use these things, add to your carbon footprint. So going to the grocery store, let's say right now in the wintertime you want a watermelon. Well, pretty sure there isn't a farm in Minnesota growing watermelons. So those watermelons that are at the grocery store have to be shipped from faraway places, and it costs energy or adds CO2 to the atmosphere of burning fossil fuels to get those things here. Other things at the grocery store like apples and bananas and oranges, things like that. But also maybe the things that you buy, your clothes. I'm pretty sure not many of your clothes are actually made in the United States or in Minnesota for that matter. A lot of them are made overseas and they have to be shipped here. So those things, all of them go into calculating your carbon footprint. Okay, so you should be able to answer these questions. Do these increase your carbon footprint? So answer them yes, no really quick, and then pause the video to do so. When you're done, unpause it and we'll talk about it. So I kind of gave you this answer. Buying fruit out of season, yes, that adds to your carbon footprint. Buying products with lots of packaging, yes, It costs or takes energy to do that. Buying organic produce, that's going to add to your carbon footprint. Shopping online is also going to add to your carbon footprint because those things have to be shipped to your house instead of you going out and buying all of them at once. Okay. Now, considering all of these things, the average Minnesotan, average person in Minnesota, you're going to want to write this in here, emits about 52,000 pounds of CO2 into the atmosphere every single year. 52,000 pounds. So make sure you write that in right here. 52,000 pounds. So knowing that for the average Minnesotan, I want you to predict what your carbon footprint would be. Give me a number. Okay? Would it be higher? Would it be the same? Would it be lower? And then after you give me the number, tell me why. Okay. So what you're going to be doing in the computer lab now is you're going to go to this webpage, minnesotaenergychallenge.org, and what you're going to do is you're going to try to find different things that can reduce your carbon footprint. Maybe you're doing some of them now already, some of them maybe you want to do, but you need to find at least 10 things. I've got 2 of them here for you: recycle like crazy, compost like crazy, and that's because that's what we're going to be doing in the lunchroom. What you're going to do is find how much pounds of CO2 are going to be saved, the money that's going to be saved, and then why you should do those things. When you're done with that, you're going to write a little paragraph personal reflection answering this question. Okay, so the Minnesota Energy Challenge webpage looks like this. The Find Actions tab is right up top here, so you're going to click on that. It's going to take you to a big, huge list of things that you could do or are doing right now that release or that take down the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere. So you can see right here, harness the power of wind. The savings is over here on the right-hand side. So if you do that, you'd be saving 2,052 pounds of CO2 per year. You wouldn't be saving any money though. All right. Now, to get to the recycling composting over here, there's different categories, recycling composting right here. Make sure you use the recycle like crazy and compost like crazy. All right. Okay, last thing we need to worry about is the special assignment. Here's the directions for that. Part 1 and kind of part 2 is the artwork and creative writing. What you're going to do is you're going to create a poster, 8.5 by 11. It can be bigger if you want. That is going to try to get students and teachers here at Rosemount High School to compost or recycle. It's one or the other. Your poster should not have both. Now the whole point of this poster is to get somebody walking through the hallways to just stop and look at it and get some information about recycling or composting. So you need to have some sort of slogan that catches somebody's eye, or pictures or things that catches somebody's eye that's going to stop them in their tracks and get them to read your poster. Okay, the pictures, you can either draw them yourself or you can find them online. I don't really care, just as long as that they're eye-catching. You use color. The other thing you're going to have to do on your poster is find out a couple of things. You're going to need the benefits of recycling or composting, give data or 2 facts or facts about each. You're going to need to figure out how much CO2 is reduced. That is from Minnesota Energy Challenge, and then how easy they are. Okay, again, you could do that from Minnesota Energy Challenge as well, because when you go to the Minnesota Energy Challenge and you click on something, it will take you to the page all about it and kind of tell you everything you need to know. All right. So those are the requirements. Your poster needs to be neatly done, no misspelled words, easy to read, eye-catching. You need to give credit to the sources. So if you take pictures from somebody, if you take slogans from somebody, if you take facts from somebody, what you'll need to do is copy and paste the URL onto the bottom of the poster. All right. So I would have a document separate that has all of your URLs, copy, paste them all there, and to make your poster look better, I would make the font of the URLs very, very tiny and put them into a bottom corner so that it's not taking away from your poster. All right. The last thing you're going to need to do is write a short little paragraph that explains how recycling and, so now we're talking about both, recycling and composting can benefit Rosemount High School and the environment. Okay. 5 or more sentences. You can do this on the back of your poster or on a separate sheet. Okay. Grading scale is down here. So make sure you keep that in mind. All right. So that's everything you need to know for the day today. Start out with the light bulb, go to the Minnesota Energy Challenge, and then work on your special assignment. All right. That's that.